Well, hello, everyone. My name is Ashley from the Fort Myers Seventh-day Adventist Church, and this is my friend Nick here. A lot of you guys recognize Nick from church. He's recently graduated from college. He's working in the area, and he's really involved in sports and Bible study and prophecy, and especially in health. So tonight we're going to pick his brains about his health journey, some of the things that he studied, and some tips and tricks that he can share with us. So welcome, Nick. We're really happy you're here.
Thanks for having me.
And maybe to start out with, for those that don't know you, could you share a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, well, I was born in let Miami, Florida. Grew up in Miramar, Florida. That's in Broward County. Went to school at Miramar High, then I graduated from there, went to Oakwood. Spent some time in Oakwood for a while, and then I transferred to Florida Gulf Coast in the area in Fort Myers. Graduated last year with a bachelor's in health science. And now I'm pretty much working on trying to get experience and further my education eventually to get a master's degree.
Oh, that's exciting. So have you
Thanks.
always been a healthy person? Did you grow up in a healthy home, or is that something that you've kind of discovered as an adult?
I would say my mom was always like in the healthcare field. She was always like a part of the MA. Uh, she also did other things as well, like health insurance and stuff like that. So she was always telling me about like the medical field and how it's pretty good field to be in because you always get like a job. I remember in high school, I was thinking about doing like journalism because I was thinking about what to do in college. So I said, you know what, let me think about doing journalism at the time. That was like around 20, I think about 2016. I graduated in 2017 from high school. And then she mentioned how, oh, Nick, why don't you do like, something with healthcare? You always get a job. So I said, maybe. And then like my 11th grade, 12th grade year, I was doing like a health science class. I didn't really plan on having that class. They just gave it to me. So I learned about like the different careers in healthcare, like non-clinical stuff like healthcare administration, which I want to do. 'Cause I thought it's all about just, blood and all this stuff, but there's other things you can do without having to really be face to face with a patient, you know. So then my 12th grade year, I had got like a MA certification to the class. They had like a little program that we did. So I said, let me just do it. At least it'd be good to have like as a backup. And thankfully, I was able to achieve and get one. I haven't used it yet, but it's still good to have. And then from that time on, I said, I'm gonna go to school for healthcare administration. Since that's something I could do, as well as in like administrative things such as trying to get the best care, whether it's at a doctor's office or just anything healthcare wise in a specific area.
Mhm. Yeah, and one of the things I like about you is you practice what you preach. A lot of people are in healthcare, but they're not healthy at all. Whereas, like, you strive, you exercise a lot, you work out, you play sports, you're pretty conscious with what you eat. And one of the things I admire about you is like when I was your age, honestly, one of the main reasons I went to grad school was I didn't want to settle down and get a real job. I was partying too much. I was horribly unhealthy, even though I looked healthy, like inside, I was just like my organs were messed up. I wasn't focusing on God, school, or anything of importance. So one of the main reasons we wanted to interview you is because it's so rare that someone your age is focused on God and on health. So that's awesome. What are some things that you've done throughout the years? Like, what are some healthy changes you've made? Um,
Mhm.
what were some easy changes, stuff that really wasn't that hard?
I would say, I would say like when I first got to Florida Gulf, because even though I was at Oakwood, I was doing certain things right. Like I was pretty much like drinking like almond milk. I started
Mhm.
doing that when I was like in elementary school. I
Yeah.
think they introduced almond milk back in like 2009, if I'm not mistaken, or 2010, one of the two, you know. So I've been kind of doing the almond milk thing. Now I do more like coconut milk or banana milk. However, I will say that when I was in Oakwood, I started doing a little bit of changes here and there. But mostly I was when I got to Florida Gulf Coast.
Mhm.
Because I would say like in 2018, my mom's like, "Oh, Nick, you shouldn't use or eat this type of snack or use this." Or they have like canola oil or stuff like this, like inflammation. So I said, okay. So I started like looking up why and possible reasons. So I said, let me start trying to make some changes. So from there, I stopped eating like certain chips. I don't even eat chips no more. It can be like a healthy chip, like maybe like the veggie chips. But me personally, I'm not really into like certain snacks.
Mhm.
you know. So stuff like that was like an easy change, like Chips Ahoy cookies. Like now, as an alternative, I go for like things like there's a brand called Simple Mills. They make like cookies with like almond flour, so that's good if you're like gluten free or you want to reduce like carbs or glucose, like insulin levels, because it's more it's not like a wheat, because some people can't probably eat wheat because it could probably mess with their diabetes. So I like to consume things like that. And it tastes pretty good. It tastes like Chips Ahoy, but just with almond flour. So stuff like that I like to do, like look see for like alternatives. So that's probably the easiest one, like certain pastry things, donuts, things that's like kind of Swedish or certain snacks. I say, I'm gonna stop. Even cereal. Like nowadays, I used to eat like the tricks, all those different like the color, all the colors, but but now I eat stuff like it's like say it's grain free or like a coconut based cereal. So things like that, 'cause I know it'd probably be more healthier for me. So
Do you mind repeating that brand? I think you had mentioned a brand you really like.
oh yeah, Simple Meals.
Okay.
Yeah, Simple Meals. They're pretty good. They do pretty good snacks like breakfast bars or like cookies, crackers, stuff like that.
Oh, okay. Awesome. Yeah, I know I'll check that out, and I'm sure people that are listening are interested too. Are there any changes that were really hard that you finally made them, but it took a while? If not,
Uh
that's okay. There's benefit to making them when you're young, because then they're not as hard as when you're old.
Wasn't really a hard it's because it wasn't really a hard one because for me, I always want to be like the healthiest I can be.
Right.
I was like, like what are some things I can change? So it wasn't really say hard,
Mhm.
even I guess maybe McDonald's, but that wasn't really hard for me personally, you know. But maybe fast. I mean, I still eat fast food here and there.
Right,
But if
right.
I do, it's probably gonna be like pizza or, something not too crazy, too highly processed, right? So I mean, I haven't really nothing really hard because, like I said, I try to see like what's the best way to make myself the healthiest I can be.
I like that because I think a lot of people have this misconception they're going to have to white knuckle it and it's going to be so hard, months and months of hard work. But I like how you kind of encourage them. It doesn't really have to be that hard.
Right. And even with the almond, I remember when I first tried almond milk, I was like, it tasted so bland, you
Right.
know. But the thing was, that was my first time I tried it. My taste bud was so used to like the sugary milks,
Mhm.
or I guess regular dairy, who knows. But after a while, I got used to it. But I'm like nowadays I just use like coconut milk or banana milk because it provides more flavor.
Mhm. Now, what about, I know there's like literally billions of food combinations, but are there like five superfoods in your opinion, like five foods you think you either like them the best or you recommend them or they have maximum health benefits?
The only ones I would say fruit wise, I like kiwis a lot.
Mhm.
Kiwis are like pretty much high in vitamin C, different minerals. So I like to consume kiwis. They're pretty easy to consume. You know, you just like you could take a firm one. I say the best one to get the firm one. Slice it in half. If you want, you can peel it all the way if you want to. But me personally, I don't have that much time to do all that. So what I do is I just slice it in half and then get like a spoon and scoop out the meat, the kiwi, and go from there. Or you can even get like strawberries. Strawberries are high in vitamin C. Blueberries, they have like stuff, a compound called flavonoids. It's
Mhm.
been shown to be good for heart health. So I like to consume stuff like blueberries or strawberries, any berries for that matter.
Mhm.
Uh, that's a pretty. I mean, vegetable wise, I know people like kale
Mhm.
or cabbage, but I haven't really looked into kale and cabbage too much. But I do know they have like minerals that are
Mhm.
good for you. And they're really versatile. You can put it in pasta, anything really. Make it put in a sandwich. So that's a pretty good one right there too.
Oh yeah, I like how you mentioned that because a lot of people are grossed out when they hear of that, but you put in a smoothie and a sandwich, even if you put it on a pizza, like everything else covers it up, you know?
Arugula. I don't know if you ever tried arugula
Oh
before.
yeah.
Yeah, it's like a peppery vegetable. I heard it has I think was it potassium, I believe it was. I forget it was some mineral in this. It's like it's really good, I guess, for heart health. But I forgot what I think it's potassium, I'm not sure. But I know that's a really good vegetable as well. I know a lot of people like it because They probably put like in chicken Alfredo or their own special, veggie pasta, how they do it. So, there's a lot of different options out there that has a lot of different healthy nutrients that's pretty much good for you.
Mhm. And I like how you've done a lot of studies on health in general, like you're very knowledgeable across the board. But in regards to oil, I know some people say they're oil free, but we live in a society like you can't really be oil free, like any
Right.
potluck,
Yeah.
any restaurant, anywhere you go, like you're gonna have some oil. So
Right.
what are your studies on oil? Because we know some are good for you, some are bad for you. If you don't mind sharing with us.
Right. So I like olive oil. Uh, olive oil is going to have like polyphenols. There's like a study when they mentioned that polyphenols and flavonoids, there are compounds are essential for heart health. Says here they protect your body's tissue against oxidative stress, associated with pathologies such as certain chronic and fatal diseases, like some people have cardiovascular disease. So if you're a guy who, like, man, what can I change? Probably try olive oil. That's one. That's an easy one. You could put that in anything. Put on a salad. You can even use it to bake as well. There's another one called ghee. I know it's a butter, but it's lactose free, casein free because they take out like the milk solids. So it's called clarified butter. So that's a good one. It's high in vitamin E, which is so to say is good for heart health as well. It also has a high concentration of monounsaturated omega threes, which is good for heart health. Everybody say I need more omega threes in my diet. You could probably try ghee as well. Keep it on bread. You use it to cook. It has a high smoking point. So stuff like olive oil is good, but if you're gonna like probably do something like 500 degrees, you can easily put ghee in that type of concoction. So ghee is really good. I think it's even let me see here. I think there's something else about ghee. I also say that you can even help reduce unhealthy cholesterol levels. So every guy that has, bad cholesterol levels or even triglyceride levels, then trying ghee can help you out, possibly help you.
Ah, okay. Yeah, I know I was listening to a health seminar by Barbara O'Neill, and she had talked about that as well. So that's really interesting. And have you noticed have you noticed a difference like between your spirituality and your health? Like when you're eating healthier, like is your devotional life a bit a little better? Are you thinking a little bit more clearer? Do you think there's a relationship between diet and spirituality?
Yes. I know, those have probably read or the theology majors.
Yeah.
You probably like Leviticus, or Exodus or throughout the Bible, they always talk about like food,
Mhm.
so they'll mention how, you shouldn't eat, like I said, like a fish that doesn't have like scale or fin, so it's important to watch, what you eat, what is it the highest quality and so forth. However, yeah, but food is a big one. You want to make sure that you're nourished and that you're pretty much able to praise God or do what you want to do to help, for the kingdom wise at the best possible way, the most optimal way, you know. So making sure you're putting in the right stuff in your body is pretty much the right thing to do if you want to praise God in the right way, as in like I mentioned before, evangelizing. You can't evangelize if you're hungry, you know.
Yeah.
If you lack of energy, you gotta make sure you're putting yourself in the right position to do these things for God.
Awesome. I like how you connected it like that. And even though Adventists, like, we know we're supposed to be healthy, like, we know we're supposed to eat a certain way, reality is many people don't. So, do you have any suggestions for like believers that they want to be healthier, but they just find it so overwhelming? Like, do you have some baby steps or some tips for them?
I would say start with alternatives. That's how I started. I started looking at different things that I can change easily. Like for example, mentioned about the simple meals. Maybe like say bread. I mean, let's say if you're always eating say white bread, maybe try maybe they have like sprouted bread, like Ezekiel brand. They have like sprouted bread you can try. That's an option. Publix has like an organic sprouted multi-grain sliced bread. It's soft. Other people say, "Oh, it's gonna be hard," and it's soft bread. You can try that. So there's different options, but start with like small, like alternatives. What do you like that's out there that use better ingredients and has the best quality possible? Like some people like Reese's cups. There's brands out there that now sell chocolate that say organic. and that uses, let's say, like dark chocolate, and uses good peanut butter. So if you want to say, I want to try, still want to eat Reese, but not with all the different added process, or not good ingredients that they add in, like all the different chemicals, you can try other brands that may make the same product but better ingredients. But you just want to take steps towards, getting to that point in your life.
I love it. Like taking what you like and just finding better ingredients. Yeah, speaking
Right.
of Reese's, I think it actually tastes better. My husband showed me you take a date, you cut it in two, and you cover it in peanut butter, and you put one dark chocolate chip on it. It
Oh
tastes
wow, I
even,
never tried it.
yeah, it tastes even better than a candy bar. And it's a date, peanut butter, and literally one dark chocolate chip.
And I heard they say dates can help what you call balance your blood sugar.
Yeah.
So hey, you're doing something right, Miss Ashley.
And I had another question for you here. I'm just going to pull it up on my screen really quick. But it's really encouraging that you're sharing because not too many people your age are interested in health. I know when I was your age, I was like, yeah, later on I'll get interested. But basically, the health we have when we're old is built upon how we lived when we were young. So that's awesome that you're sharing what you're doing, what's working for you. And if there was people who are listening to this interview who are like, oh, I'm already vegetarian, I'm already organic, I
Mhm.
don't smoke, I don't drink. Do you have anything for them that could help take their fitness to the next level? Do you have like any exercise tips or any eating tips that could take someone who's already kind of healthy, but bump
Mhm.
them a little higher?
So I do know sometimes if you are, let's say you're vegan or you're plant-based, or you say you're doing organic things, you check and see if you have any like vitamin deficiencies. Sometimes, you may say, "Oh, I'm doing this and that, I'm eating right," but you may find out, "Oh, I'm deficient in B12." You know. So it's best to try to find, what am I deficient in, and then get the right either supplements or the food products to make that even easier for you to keep. Like, let's say they say, "Oh, I'm deficient in potassium. You need to get more potassium in your diet." Probably eat more bananas, avocados are rich in potassium. So things like that. So check and see, what am I deficient in? And then even when it comes to exercise, you may say, well, I walk or I do some runs. Maybe you can try and probably, get more muscle. Probably do, some more higher intensity workouts to build more muscle, build more either that's body strength. So there's always things that, we could always improve upon, even if we're doing X, Y, and Z, we still need to get the A, B, and C.
Ah, I love it because yeah, that's perfect. Like for people that are listening, if you want to get yourself tested to see what you're deficient in, just get a simple blood test. Your doctor can order it. Most of the time, your insurance covers it. And if you have to pay out of pocket, I think sometimes you can get it for like $40. Like I don't think it's that expensive. And that's what I did before. I found out I was deficient in vitamin D. So I was able
Right.
to like supplement that, go outside more, never an issue again. And I like
Mhm.
your idea and your suggestion to like work out more because I think we lose about I think it's like 0.5% to 1% of muscle mass per year after 30. So by the time you're 40, you could lose like 10% muscle mass. And like what you mentioned, mixing up your workouts, a lot of
Mhm.
gyms right now are only $10 a month. Pretty much anyone can afford that. So
Exactly.
awesome. Yeah. If you don't mind, then probably like my last question for you is, do you mind just giving us some meal ideas? Like, what are some of your favorite meals? We know you're pretty healthy, so do you want to just like throw some of your typical meals out at us so maybe we can get some ideas?
Uh, I'm not really. I do eat a lot, but I'm pretty simple with what I do. So usually I like to do like a little pasta. I might put like some carrots in there or mix in some. I do like cheese,
Mhm.
as I do know a lot of us do. If you guys know about the haystacks culture, and yeah, in the Adventist community, so I do like me some cheese. I'll put in some pasta. I usually like to get the plant-based pasta.
Mhm.
I think it's like I forgot what it's called. Like they have cauliflower version of
Oh
pasta. They have
yeah.
different versions of pasta. So I like to do that. Add some olives. I like Kalamata olives. I like those. They have like a nice flavor to it. And I like to put maybe sometimes if you do meat, you could put chicken in there. But if not, you can throw in some cabbage maybe as well, or mixing, or anything how you do it. But I'll say pastas are always the number one for me.
Mhm.
I also like wild rice.
Mhm.
Wild rice is really good. It has a lot of minerals and nutrients in it, especially like the black wild rice. That one's pretty good. That's you can easily make that, cook it with some Put in ghee. Ghee gives like a nice flavor. Put some herbs like oregano, cilantro, and mix it up a bit, and it's pretty good. You can mix it in with like some vegetables as well, like cabbage, carrots. Make your own little stir fry. I like stir fries as well. So different things you can mix in also. So it's pretty much simple. I'm not really too crazy when it comes to like my meal, but that's pretty much it right there.
Well, awesome. Thank you for giving up your time to let us interview you. And I'm excited for you. I mean, you have your whole life ahead of you and you've already chosen Christ, you've chosen a healthy diet. So that's pretty incredible. So thank
Oh,
you.
thanks. No
Yeah,
problem.
thank you
Thank you,
so
Miss
much for
Ashley.
sharing. And anyone, if you're watching this, you can come see Nick at church. If you've got any questions or just want to get to know him. Do you play basketball on Wednesday nights?
Whenever I get the chance, I do.
Okay.
Like to play basketball, even football if I can get the chance,
Okay.
like in the daytime or so. But yeah, I like to play sports, basketball, football, whatever case may be.
Okay. Yeah, because I think isn't there a group that meets at the church like on Wednesday nights or something?
Right in the gym, yeah. So they open like I think from like 7 or 6. I think like from 6 o'clock they start.
Awesome. Okay. So they might see you there or probably definitely at Sabbath school, at church. And I know you go to a lot of the evangelistic series as well.
Yeah, so you'll see me always gonna pop in.
Okay. Well, awesome. Thank you so much. And thank you everyone for joining us.